Do you think that Michael Jordan would be as successful without you?
No.
In the world of basketball, there are few duos more iconic than Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. For a decade, they were the gold standard of teamwork, dominance, and championship glory. Together, they led the Chicago Bulls to 6 NBA titles, creating one of the most storied dynasties in sports history. But as powerful as their bond once was, it would eventually unravel, leaving fans stunned and wondering, how did things go so wrong? Back in 2009, when Michael Jordan was inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame, he started his speech by thanking Scottie Pippen. "You never just saw me," he said. "You saw Scottie Pippen too." The next year, when it was Pippen's turn to enter the hall, it was Jordan who proudly presented him. They laughed, they hugged, and the respect was obvious. Even in 2018, years after their playing days were over, Pippen publicly supported Jordan in the never-ending GOAT debate. "There's no game I would ever play in and pick LeBron James over Michael Jordan," Pippen said on ESPN. The two seemed inseparable, bonded forever by championships and a shared legacy. Jordan had always been known as an intense, sometimes brutal teammate. He famously punched Steve Kerr during practice and pushed his teammates to the limit. Yet with Pippen, there were never reports of that kind of tension. Scottie was his partner in crime, the calm to MJ's storm.
Take all the rings off and go straight on us.
No, I don't think he's going to do that now. I don't think
He's not going that far?
No, I don't think any of us going to come here with green hair, red hair, and earrings in our nose either.
You're not going to reinvent yourself, huh? No, man. You're not going to come back and be straight. Oh, no. Michael and Scottie are willing to accept Dennis Rodman as for who he is and what he can bring to the table.
What about your new teammate, Dennis Rodman? How has that gotten along? What's the chemistry between you two?
Dennis is going to be fine. You know, we asked Dennis to come on this basketball court and give us 110%. We don't care what color his hair is, no matter what. He's going to come out and play hard. And, you know, we got a system here. We're on time. We practice hard. And, you know, he's about it. I mean, he's been there every day. You know, he's been there and participated in every practice. And that's all we can ask for him. We're not going to try to ruin his reputation. He's got his own reputation. We understand that off the court. But what we ask on the court is to play the game of basketball.
Then came the pandemic. With the NBA season suspended and fans stuck at home, Netflix released a gift for basketball lovers, The Last Dance. This 10-part documentary chronicled the Bulls' final championship season in 1997 to 98 and promised never-before-seen footage and candid interviews. But what started as a celebration of a team turned into something else entirely. The Last Dance wasn't really about the Bulls. It was about Jordan. The story was told through his eyes, his narrative, his version of events. And that was no accident. Director Jason Hehere needed Jordan's approval to make the film, and Jordan reportedly had full control over the content. As a result, the documentary portrayed MJ as the ultimate competitor, the unchallenged leader, and the driving force behind every championship. The rest of the team, they were just along for the ride. Sure, the documentary gave Pippen some screen time. It even detailed his difficult upbringing, his unlikely rise to NBA stardom, and his role in the Bulls' success. But the praise was always filtered through Jordan's lens. The rest of the team, Steve Kerr, Horace Grant, Tony Kukoc, Ron Harper, Luke Longley, were mostly afterthoughts. Even Dennis Rodman, one of the best rebounders in NBA history, was portrayed more as a wild party animal than a key piece of the dynasty. But no one was more affected than Pippen. In one of the documentary's more controversial moments, Jordan criticized him for delaying ankle surgery before the 1997-98 season, calling it a selfish move. At the time, Jordan was making $33 million. Pippen was making $2.7 million, despite being one of the league's best players. He wanted a new contract. The Bulls wouldn't budge. Pippen felt he had no choice. At first, Scottie tried to keep things civil. After the documentary aired, Jordan sent him a text. "What's up, dude? Getting word you're upset with me. Love to talk about it if you have time." Pippen called him, they talked, and Scottie initially told the media, "This documentary has not changed our relationship. We will be friends forever." But the truth came out soon enough. In 2021, while promoting his autobiography, Unguarded, Pippen unleashed a flood of criticism aimed squarely at Jordan. He accused him of hogging the spotlight, of being selfish, of disrespecting the contributions of his teammates. One of the more surprising revelations was that Jordan allegedly used to cheat Pippen out of money by rigging the Jumbotron races during games. Pippen said Jordan bribed the staff so he'd always win bets they made on those silly arena contests. Then came even bigger accusations. In a GQ interview, Pippen called Jordan's decision to retire in 1993 to play baseball a selfish decision. He implied that Jordan took too long to mourn his father's death and left the team in a difficult position. Pippen also took aim at the famed flu game in the 1997 finals. He said MJ received too much praise for playing through illness, while no one applauded him for playing with a herniated disc in the 1998 finals. But the most controversial quote came when Pippen said, "We didn't win 6 championships because he was tough on the guys. We won in spite of his bullying." Pippen even changed his stance in the GOAT debate. He went from never picking LeBron over MJ to saying, "I always believed LeBron James was the greatest player this game has ever seen. He does everything." He blamed Jordan for ruining the team game, saying kids in the 90s all wanted to be like Mike, a player who didn't want to pass, rebound, or defend.
Back tapping the rebound to himself, saves to Jordan for 3. Oh yeah, that's the way. Bring it up. Rodman to Jordan. Dennis Rodman with the
himself. Dennis taps the ball. Is he going to go out of bounds and step on another player's foot? What is it? He fires it out. MJ lines it up. Stern in.
trailer. Got it, count it, and he's fouled.
No, McIlvain, it was a goaltend, I think. That's all he's saying. Paul is saying, just a goaltend.
I thought he called a foul.
He touched the ball, and that's what he's saying here.
I got you.
Here he comes in. Dennis comes in. Aaron McIlvain swings at it and tips it. And Dennis says,
"Oh, Jordan to the hoop." And Rodman able to convert. Seattle's opened up. Shrimp. Nice move, but way off on the shot. And here is Jordan. Michael Jordan on the breakaway.
On Sean Kemp is the beautiful outlet pass by Rodman over the top. Payton unable to take care of business. Now he can make up a lot with his athletic ability, but nobody's going to catch that.
Jordan looking to back Shaw. Rodman battling Smith. Great play by Dennis Rodman.
Dennis Rodman going out, throwing that body up in the air, and getting it back to his leader.
Soon. Steve Kerr. Jordan guarded by Shaw.
Oh, the dandy rebound from Dennis Rodman.
But right here, look at 3 guys. There goes Shaq for the block again. Doesn't get the block.
To Michael. Rodman. Oh!
Not a layup, a hammer down by Rodman, a tomahawk slam.
25-25 to 21.
Bounce, lob for MJ.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was too high. Again, Dennis Rodman with a great pass. I thought it was too high.
He didn't stop there. Pippen criticized Jordan for earning $10 million from The Last Dance, while none of the other Bulls received a dime. He called out Phil Jackson, too, accusing him of racism for drawing up a game-winning play for Tony Kukoc in 1994 instead of letting Pippen take the shot. He slammed Charles Barkley as lazy and undedicated. He called Isaiah Thomas a dirty player. It felt like Pippen had opened every wound he'd kept hidden for decades. And yet, even with all the bitterness, the documentary did include some moments of appreciation. Jordan said, "There is no Michael Jordan without Scottie Pippen." The film acknowledged Pippen's struggles, his impact, and the respect he earned from his coach and teammates. But for Scottie, it wasn't enough. The story took an even stranger turn in 2022 when MJ's son Marcus Jordan began dating Larsa Pippen, Scottie's ex-wife. Suddenly, the feud between 2 former teammates had a personal twist that no one saw coming. It seemed like Jordan was winning every battle. The documentary boosted his legacy among young fans. His sneaker brand remained iconic.
This season against Portland, a 4-point win. That's Michael Jordan. He now has 31.
Dennis Rodman, who's got 17. Rodman inside.
Yeah.
Got it.
Dennis running strong. Mike got
And here's Jordan. Pitched by Phils. Still able to hit. Cut off by Phils. And then Marley. And Michael Jordan able to accelerate.
Anytime he defensive rebounds, always thinking fast break. Many times he'll take it out on the dribble himself, but getting the ball high over his head and threading the needle to Michael Jordan, who was able to...
working hard, digging for the basket. A beautiful lead pass, and Jordan converts.
As a quarterback, he's 2 for 2, Dennis Rodman.
Beauty thrown by Rodman, whipping it the length of the court, and Jordan looking like a wide receiver, making the reception and then putting it home.
Dennis could get it right back. Here he comes. To Mike. Good pass.
Great pass. Very unselfish play by Dennis Rodman. Fires it over to Mike. Mike hammers it home.
To Longley on the roll. Pass underneath. And shoot.
What a play by Jordan. Read the defense and just a touch pass right to Rodman. Sensational basketball. Little touch pass, lays it right to Dennis Rodman, who wasn't quite sure was even going to be there, but you notice how soft it was. Dennis could.
T. Green, 8 on the shot clock. Michael Jordan feeding Rodman for the dunk.
That's a good pass back by Jordan, but a good cuts to get offensive rebounding position when Jordan.
17 seconds between the shot clock and game clock. Here's Rodman from Jordan. Basket good and a foul, and the Bulls can tie it up.
Here's Michael working hard to get a shot. Finds Rodman, who really will only shoot under those kind of situations when he catches the ball. He makes a great play right here.
But Michael and Dennis Rodman. Inside Rodman with great pass by Michael Jordan. Inside Rodman sets the screen, gets out of the way. Luke come across, post up. Rodman. Oh, the worm loves it. He comes back, but the Ipsy do.
And some very low-scoring affairs. Michael Jordan will lay it down gently. Nice look, Dennis Rodman.
Well, it was a good. That's it. That's a good place to go.
Meanwhile, Pippen's comments felt increasingly like desperate attempts to reclaim a spotlight he never fully enjoyed. Still, it's important to understand Scottie's pain. He was never just a sidekick. He was a top 5 player in his prime, a Hall of Famer, and one of the best defenders in NBA history. But living in Jordan's shadow for so long must have taken a toll. And seeing that shadow grow even larger with The Last Dance may have been the final straw. Their story is no longer one of unity and shared glory. It's about how time, ego, and media can tear apart even the strongest bonds. Once brothers on the court, Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen now stand on opposite sides of a rivalry no one wanted. The Bulls dynasty was built on teamwork, sacrifice, and mutual respect. But as the years have passed, it's clear that not all wounds heal. And while history will always link their names together, the friendship that carried them to greatness may be gone forever.
Rebounded by Rodman. Jordan behind the back to beat Gronkowski. Goes right at Wingate. What a move by Just Kersey.
Well, on the fly pattern to Michael Jordan on the catch, realizing he had a defender there, able in midair to collect himself, go behind his back, and gather himself and still finish the play. A spectacular Michael Jordan play.
A little bit of everything. You go high to catch the ball.
Here's Rodman, backdoor cut. Hello.
They pass too well in this triangle offense at the back cuts. Take a look at Michael Jordan right when the ball, he's leaving already. Dennis Rodman didn't have the ball yet, and Michael Jordan was cutting already. That's knowing your offense and knowing who can pass and who can cut. It's great.
Jordan hasn't responded to Pippen's remarks publicly, and maybe he never will. Maybe he thinks the championships speak for themselves. Or maybe, deep down, he knows that Pippen has a point. Because for all his brilliance, all his greatness, and all his glory, even Michael Jordan couldn't win alone. And whether he admits it or not, Scottie Pippen was the one who made winning possible. Time may never heal the rift between them. But for anyone who watched them dominate the NBA in the 1990s, their story, both beautiful and bitter, will never be forgotten